After negotiations with a customer, and this is completely independent of the first scenario, Malcontent LLC, those negotiations were unsuccessful. Kyle, credit professional, then goes to her credit group and asks about experience with Malcontent, the customer. Per the credit group bylaws, Kyle only inquires about historical payment history. Upon learning that several other suppliers have undisputed claims that are months past due, Kyle, credit professional, contacts 5 other credit professionals from different suppliers and considers involuntary bankruptcy. Being a fine American, Kyle contacts bankruptcy counsel and who helps the group performance due diligence to see if an involuntary bankruptcy against Malcontent LLC is doable. They have 5 suppliers who have not been paid for a number of months. There's no dispute in the amount due and owing. Their due diligence shows the customer is not paying its debts, Malcontent's debts as they come due, which is a standard for involuntary. There's no bad faith. And then they learn that, through piecing together some information, that Malcontent paid one of its affiliates $500,000 in the last 3 months. And they also learned that the bank is about to foreclose on Malcontent's assets. So Kyle and the credit group filed an involuntary bankruptcy. And Chapter 7 trustee is appointed. They file it right after the bank forecloses. And at the creditor meeting, they learn about the foreclosure, namely, the bank foreclosed its security interest on substantially all Malcontent's assets, and Newco bought those assets from the bank. And Newco is owned by the same person who owned Malcontent, namely Snippety Whiplash. Now, Newco's CEO, Snippety Whiplash, has called you, Kyle, credit professional, to see if there's an understanding that might lead to dismissing the bankruptcy. So after speaking with bankruptcy counsel, you've scheduled a negotiation session with Snippety Whiplash. Snippety Whiplash is played by Denise, and I will be Kyle, credit professional. So before this call, leading up with this call with Snippety Whiplash, I talked, first of all, to my management, make sure they're okay with me having this call, figure out expectations and authority. I emailed the other petitioning creditors, make sure they're okay with me having this call. And of course, I talked to my bankruptcy lawyer. I review the bankruptcy schedules and confirm that not only was $500,000 paid to an affiliate, that affiliate is also owned by Mr. Whiplash. So he paid his own company $500,000. I also learned that Mr. Whiplash guaranteed certain suppliers, and they got paid in full. So I start making a list of questions I want to ask. I want to know about Newco. Does Newco have the same employees as Malcontent? Does Newco operate from the same location? I make my list of questions. And then I make my list of what I think the leverage points are, and my bankruptcy lawyer helped me with this. The $500,000 payment to the affiliate is recoverable as a preferential transfer. The payment to certain debts that are guaranteed, probably recoverable as a preference. And the whole foreclosure sale seems a little bit smelly, and I may have the trustee, Chapter 7 trustee, challenge that. So with all that preparation, I'm prepared to have what will now be a very quick conversation with Mr. Whiplash. Hello, Snippety. You wanted to have a conversation. This is Kyle, credit professional.
Okay, so all your involuntary bankruptcy is doing is creating havoc. That business had nothing. It was an orderly liquidation. All of the assets were sold. The proceeds were distributed to the secured creditor. There's nothing left. What is the purpose of this?
Well, good afternoon, Mr. Whiplash. See, the problem is we weren't paid. None of the petition creditors were paid the amount due and owing. And so we're trying to do whatever we can within our legal rights to be paid the just due and owing amount for goods that we properly delivered that you agreed to pay for. That's all.
So while I'm not legally obligated to pay you a dime, what I will do is I'll give you $100,000 for your company's debt, and let's put this bankruptcy thing to rest.
Well, Mr. Whiplash, I appreciate that you're making a proposal of $100,000 to dismiss the bankruptcy. But before I get to that, before I respond, let me just ask a couple questions. I noticed that you have a new company called Newco, and that's in the same location as Malcontent, isn't it?
Yes.
And Mr. Whiplash, do you have primarily the same employees?
Yes.
And Newco bought all the assets at this foreclosure sale. So Newco also has the same assets as Malcontent had, right?
Yes.
So basically, you just started up a new company after the foreclosure sale, right?
I think what I want to do at this point is have a conversation with my lawyer and call you back.
And Mr. Whiplash, I think that's a very good idea. While lawyers are expensive and they talk too much, they do provide some good value. I would like to just mention to you how I view your $100,000, which I'm going to go back to the other petition creditors and my own management, make sure everybody knows you made the offer, and I do appreciate you putting something on the table. But it seems that $100,000, in light of the fact you transferred $500,000 to an affiliate you own, a few months before bankruptcy, my lawyer says the trustee can recover that. There's also this idea, this whole foreclosure sale, which you seem to open up Newco, which is the exact same as Malcontent. We've got to investigate that, to be perfectly honest. There's also these certain suppliers you paid without paying us, and we understand now you personally guaranteed those. So in light of the literally hundreds of thousands of dollars that we think can be brought back into a bankruptcy estate, I imagine that my fellow petitioning creditors and my own management are going to view the $100,000 as a very, very small offer. I should also tell you, Mr. Whiplash, that my bankruptcy lawyer informs us to dismiss an involuntary bankruptcy, we have to pay all the creditors the same amount, not just the petitioning creditors. And we want to make sure we're turning square corners and doing the right thing vis-a-vis the bankruptcy laws. So that may help you in your conversation with your lawyer.
So at this point, not only are we running a little over, but Mr. Whiplash, he's completely lawyered up and ran out the door. He really needs to talk to his lawyer.
And so the conversation's over. Bottom line, my objectives as Kyle credit professional was make sure I stated my leverage point, ask the questions, and be objective and not emotional, and try to build a credibility bridge. Because there's going to be many, many more conversations. Turn it over to you, Denise.
So in conclusion, at the beginning of the webinar, we talked about the 5 main takeaways. Negotiating is a skill. Credibility, truthfulness, and integrity are necessary. You must remain unbiased. preparedness is necessary, and then bring some sort of closure, whether it's a formal agreement, memorandum of understanding, something that wraps up what was agreed to.